Imagine this, you wake up one morning and realize something's changed. Maybe it's harder to catch your breath when you walk to the mailbox. Or perhaps you're not quite as steady on your feet as you used to be. Maybe a friend or loved one recently had a fall, or worse, ended up in the hospital for something that seemed small at first. It can be scary, and it makes you wonder. Am I doing everything I can to stay healthy? To live longer? To enjoy my golden years the way I imagined I would? Well, here's the good news, you absolutely can. You don't need a magic pill or some expensive treatment. In fact, science has shown that making small, consistent changes to your daily routine can add years to your life, and more importantly, make those years healthier, happier, and full of energy. In this video, we're going to talk about 7 simple habits, all backed by research, that can help you live longer, feel stronger, and enjoy every day more fully after 65. Now, before we dive in, let me say this, these aren't drastic changes. No extreme diets, no marathon running, just everyday choices that, over time, can make a world of difference. Let's start with the first habit, one that might surprise you. Think about how you start your day. Do you jump out of bed and grab a cup of coffee? Maybe skip breakfast because you're not hungry yet. Well, what if I told you that how you begin your morning could actually set the tone for your health for the rest of your life? You see, researchers have found that people who live the longest often follow a very specific routine in the first hour after waking up. It's not complicated, but it's powerful. One of the most important things they do is drink water first thing in the morning. Not coffee, not juice, just plain, clean water. And there's a reason for that. After hours of sleep, your body is naturally dehydrated. And even mild dehydration can affect your heart, your brain function, and even your mood. By simply drinking a glass or 2 of water when you wake up, you kickstart your metabolism, support your digestion, and give your body the hydration it needs to function at its best. And here's a bonus tip, try adding a squeeze of lemon. Not only does it taste great, but it also helps support liver function and gives you a little boost of vitamin C to start your day right. Another key part of this morning routine is getting some natural light exposure within the first hour of waking. That means opening a window, stepping outside for a few minutes, or sitting near a bright window. Why is that so important? Because our bodies rely on natural light to regulate our internal clock, also known as our circadian rhythm. When that rhythm is off, it can disrupt your sleep, lower your energy levels, and even affect your mood. Getting sunlight early in the day helps reset that rhythm, so you feel more alert during the day and sleep better at night. And speaking of sleep, did you know that poor sleep is linked to a shorter lifespan? It's true, consistently getting less than 6 hours a night can increase your risk of heart disease, memory problems, and even depression. So by starting your day with water and sunlight, you're already setting yourself up for better sleep, more energy, and better overall health. Now, once you've had your water and gotten some light, the next step is movement. I know, stretching or walking first thing in the morning might sound like a stretch, pun intended, especially if you're not used to it. But hear me out. The people who live the longest, like those in the famous blue zones, move their bodies regularly, and they start early. They don't hit the gym for intense workouts. Instead, they take gentle walks, do light stretches, or practice something like Tai Chi or yoga. Even 5 or 10 minutes of gentle movement in the morning can get your blood flowing, reduce stiffness, and improve your balance, which becomes more and more important as we age. So here's a simple challenge for you. Tomorrow morning, before you reach for the coffee or the newspaper, take a few deep breaths, drink a big glass of water, step into the light, and do a few gentle stretches or take a short walk around your home or yard. That's 3 simple steps: water, light, movement, and they're all part of that powerful morning routine that can help you live longer and feel better every single day. Now, once your day gets going, there's another habit that plays a huge role in longevity, and that's staying socially connected. I know, it might not seem obvious, but studies show that people who maintain strong relationships and stay engaged with others tend to live longer, healthier lives. Loneliness and isolation, on the other hand, are linked to higher risks of heart disease, depression, and even cognitive decline. So how do you stay connected without feeling overwhelmed or pressured? Well, it doesn't have to mean big gatherings or constant socializing. Sometimes, it's the small, consistent interactions that matter most. Maybe it's calling an old friend once a week, joining a local group or club that shares your interests, volunteering your time to help others, which actually boosts your own happiness and sense of purpose. Even chatting with a neighbor while walking your dog counts. The key is to find ways to connect that feel meaningful and enjoyable to you, not forced or stressful. And if you're not sure where to start, think about something you love doing, gardening, reading, puzzles, and look for groups in your area or online that share that interest. You'll be surprised how quickly a shared hobby can turn into real friendships. So now that we've covered how to start your day right and the importance of staying connected, you're already building a strong foundation for a longer, healthier life. But we're just getting started. There are still a few more powerful habits that can make a lasting impact on your health and well-being, and we'll keep diving deeper into them in just a moment. You know, when we talk about living longer, it's easy to think it's all about avoiding disease or taking the right supplements. But the truth is, some of the most powerful tools for longevity are things we do every single day, often without even realizing their impact. And one of those habits might surprise you. What you choose to put on your plate at mealtimes can have a huge effect not just on how you feel now, but on how many good years you'll get to enjoy. Now, I'm not talking about restrictive diets or cutting out entire food groups. That's not what this is about. What the healthiest, longest-living people tend to do is eat real, whole foods, meals that nourish the body without making you feel deprived. So let's talk about one of the simplest ways to support your health through food, and that's incorporating more plants into your daily eating. And no, you don't have to go vegan or vegetarian to benefit from this. It's really about balance. Think of your plate like a canvas. If half of it is filled with colorful vegetables, greens, reds, yellows, purples, you're already doing something great for your heart, your brain, and your energy levels. These plant-based foods are rich in antioxidants, fiber, and essential vitamins that help protect your cells from damage and keep everything running smoothly. And here's something else: legumes, beans, lentils, chickpeas, they're powerhouse foods that many centenarians around the world eat regularly. They're high in protein, low in fat, and packed with fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and keeps you feeling full longer. Now, if you're not used to eating a lot of vegetables or legumes, don't worry, it doesn't have to happen overnight. Start small. Maybe swap out half your usual starch, like rice or potatoes, for roasted veggies or a hearty salad. Or try adding a handful of spinach to your morning smoothie or soup. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Another key part of healthy eating as we age is staying hydrated throughout the day. Yes, we talked about drinking water first thing in the morning, but keeping up your hydration all day long is just as important. As we get older, our sense of thirst can dull a bit, so sometimes we don't realize we're getting dehydrated until we start feeling tired, dizzy, or even confused. That's why it's a good idea to sip water regularly, even if you don't feel thirsty. If plain water feels boring, try infusing it with cucumber slices, mint, or berries. Herbal teas are also a great option, just watch out for added sugars. Now, let's talk about movement, because while we touched on morning exercise earlier, staying active throughout the day matters just as much. Here's the thing, being sedentary, sitting for long periods, has been linked to a number of health issues, including heart disease, diabetes, and even cognitive decline. And the more time we spend sitting, the higher our risk becomes. But again, you don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. In fact, one of the best forms of movement for seniors is walking, especially walking with purpose. Try this: take short walks throughout the day. Maybe after each meal, step outside for 10 minutes. Not only does this help with digestion, but it also supports stable blood sugar levels and gives your joints a gentle workout. If the weather's not cooperating, walk laps around your house or even march in place while watching TV. Every little bit adds up. And don't forget strength training. Even light resistance exercises, using bands or small weights, can make a big difference in maintaining muscle mass and bone density, both of which naturally decline with age. You don't have to do it every day. Just 2 or 3 times a week can help you stay strong and independent for years to come. Now, here's another habit that often gets overlooked: managing stress. As we age, chronic stress can quietly chip away at our health, increasing inflammation, weakening the immune system, and even affecting memory. So what can you do? Find simple, daily ways to calm your mind and relax your body. Maybe it's deep breathing for a few minutes each morning, or listening to calming music, or even just sitting quietly with a cup of tea and letting your thoughts settle. Meditation is another powerful tool, and you don't need to be an expert to benefit from it. There are plenty of beginner-friendly apps and guided sessions online that can walk you through just a few minutes a day. The point is, giving yourself permission to pause, to breathe deeply, to reflect, to be present. That's not a luxury. It's a necessity for long-term health. So far, we've covered how to start your day right with water, light, and movement, the importance of staying socially connected, eating nutrient-rich, plant-based meals, staying hydrated, staying active throughout the day, and managing stress. These are all pieces of a larger picture, a lifestyle that supports not just longevity, but quality of life. Because living longer means nothing if you're not enjoying those years. And guess what? We're not done yet. There's still one more powerful habit that ties so many of these together, and it's something that happens while you're asleep. That's right, sleep. I know, it might sound obvious, but sleep is often underestimated, especially as we get older. Many people accept poor sleep as just part of aging. But the truth is, consistently getting restful, restorative sleep is one of the most important things you can do for your body and mind. During sleep, your brain clears out toxins, your muscles repair themselves, and your immune system gets a chance to recharge. Without enough quality sleep, all of those processes suffer, and over time, that can low. Each of these habits works together to create a lifestyle that supports not just how long you live, but how well you live. And the beautiful thing is, none of these require drastic changes or expensive equipment. They're all within your reach, and they can fit into your life, exactly as it is. So maybe today is the day you decide to try just one of them, whether it's drinking water first thing in the morning, calling a friend, or simply stepping outside for 5 minutes of fresh air and sunshine. Because when it comes to longevity, it's not about doing everything perfectly, it's about doing something consistently. You know, as we've gone through these 7 habits together, I hope something has become clear. Longevity isn't about doing one big thing perfectly. It's about doing several small things consistently. And the best part? These habits don't have to feel like chores or burdens. They can actually bring more joy, energy, and connection into your everyday life. Let me share something personal for a moment. I remember when my own father turned 70. He was always active, played tennis well into his 60s, loved gardening, stayed sharp by reading every day. But after he retired, I noticed a change. He started sleeping later, skipping meals, and not going out as much. At first, it seemed normal, but over time, he just didn't seem like himself. It wasn't until he made some small changes, starting his mornings with water and sunlight, reconnecting with old friends from work, getting back into walking, even trying cooking new recipes, that I saw him come alive again. Not only did he look better, but he felt better. And you could see it in his eyes, in the way he laughed, in how he moved. That's what this is really about, not just adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, this all sounds great, but where do I even start? I totally get it. Change can feel overwhelming, especially when you're used to doing things a certain way. So here's my advice. Pick one habit. Just one. That's it. Don't try to overhaul your whole life overnight. Start with something small and manageable, like drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning, or calling someone you care about once a week, or taking a short walk after dinner. Once that becomes a regular part of your routine, add another one, then another. Before you know it, you'll be living a lifestyle that supports your health, your happiness, and your independence, without ever feeling like you're forcing yourself to do something you don't enjoy. And let me remind you, you don't have to be perfect. Some days, you might forget to drink enough water. Other days, you might skip your walk because it's raining or you're just not in the mood. That's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up for yourself. That you keep making choices that support your well-being, even on the hard days. Because here's the truth, you deserve to feel good. You deserve to enjoy your life. And you absolutely deserve to live as long and as fully as possible, surrounded by people who love you, doing things that bring you joy, and waking up each day with purpose and energy.